Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's episode, we're back in beautiful California, and more specifically in the Venice Beach area of California, which is a really cool beach. Well, because there's a lot of really hippie things to see. There's a lot of really cool colors, a lot of cool architecture, and a lot of cool vibes right here. But at the same time, this beach is called Venice, so it's named after the very famous city in Italy that is Venice, and Venice is known for its canals. And yes, Venice Beach has a lot of canals too. A lot of tourists that come here, they only go to the beach, they look at the stores. They don't really think that there are canals, but there are a really cool network of canals with a lot of really pretty houses around them. So yes, without any further ado, let's explore. Venice was founded by Abbot Kinney in 1905 as a seaside resort town. Known for its intricate network of canals that are surrounded by luxurious houses, a very wide beach, and a 2.5-mile oceanfront walk, Venice has become one of the most popular touristic hotspots when people are visiting the Los Angeles area. Known as a cultural hub for its eccentricities, many of the walls of this area have intricate artwork, and walking on the main oceanfront walk is always a spectacle in itself, with all the performers, stores, sport activities, and just a general hip and cool vibe. Like much of the rest of coastal Southern California, Venice has a warm summer Mediterranean climate with cool, wet winters and warm, dry summers. The temperatures are moderate all year, and the neighborhood boasts over 300 sunshine days per year. With such good weather and plenty of things to do, Venice is truly one of a kind. The Venice Canals truly is an amazing network of canals right here in the Venice Beach area. And I really love this place because, there's quite a few places to walk on the side of the canals, so it's made for pedestrians, and there's a lot of little bridges that help you go from one canal to the other. But it's also really cool to look at all the fancy houses that are right here because, since it is a little bit more secluded and you have a canal, you do have quite a few expensive houses, and there's a big difference between the houses that are in front of the boardwalk and in front of the sea because they get a lot of tourists. Right here, the houses are a little bit more secluded, so I would say are a little bit more luxurious. And yeah, it's so pleasant to be able to have a body of water right next to your house. The Venice Canal Historic District is noteworthy for possessing man-made wetland canals, which were built in 1905 by developer Abbot Kinney as part of his Venice of America. Kinney sought to recreate the appearance and feel of Venice, Italy. Another set of canals were built south of Venice Canals, originally known as the New Amsterdam Canals. Back in the day, the canals were lit at night and had gondoliers, which drew widespread publicity and helped sell lots in the development. But by the 1920s, with cars quickly gaining popularity, the canals were viewed by many as outdated, and as a result a number of canals were filled in. By 1940, the remaining canals had fallen into disrepair, and the sidewalks were condemned by the city. The canals were finally renovated in 1992. In order to do so, they were drained and new sidewalks and walls were built. The canals reopened in 1993 and have become a desirable and expensive residential section of the city. One thing that is super fun to do when you're walking through the Venice canals is to walk over the bridges and to actually also look at the bridges because, they are really cool. They all have their own little personality and character, and obviously they are functional too because, they are used by a lot of the people that live in this area and the tourists that walk through this place in order to get a little shortcut from one side of the canal to the other to get to the beach faster. I mean, they can't just take boats to go through the canals. That just wouldn't be practical. But I love looking at these little bridges because, as I said, they all have their own little personality. And then when you're walking through these little streets, also don't forget to look at the houses really well because, speaking of art, they have quite a lot of little hidden arts and little hidden gems of art within the architectures of these houses or the little gardens of these houses. So yeah, it makes a really fun and pleasant walk to walk through here. And in some ways, this is what the power of Venice Beach is about, is looking at all of the art. The residential district surrounding the remaining canals was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1982. However, in recent years, there has been extensive renovation work on many of the old houses, and many large modern houses have been built. And from the semi-built houses, we can see that they are all being built in wood, which is the preferred method of construction in California. Apparently, it's best and cheapest to build this way when in an earthquake region like California. These houses being built in wood means that these constructions are also more prone to being burnt by fire, which can be seen from the disaster that happened in one of the houses adjacent to one of the canals. Personally, I find that there is quite a lot of charm to the smaller bungalows, and seeing the contrast between the original houses and the really big houses does make for an interesting neighborhood, especially that every building has its own identity and architectural feel to them. While in this area, I do recommend going through some of the inside streets that aren't bordering the canals, as they also have a lot of charm and show how much the area is very much a beach town. If you have some time while walking through the Venice beach canals, I recommend you guys to go and hop a few more streets towards the ocean and see the beautiful, beautiful beaches of Venice Beach. And what's cool about this area when you're walking down the canals and walk to the beach is that you're right at the end of the touristic side of the Venice Beach boardwalk, so you have a much more empty beach. This is more of what a local would love to see. And then of course, well, if you do want to go see the craziness of Venice Beach, you just have to walk a few more minutes, maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, and you're back into the craziness. But right here on this beach, everything is just beautiful. Everything is wide. There's a lot of beautiful sand. The beach is just gorgeous, and I really love looking at the ocean, smelling the sea breeze. And as you guys can tell, well, it does get a little bit colder right here. There's a bit more wind, but it's not always like this, at least not during the summer. But here we're almost at the end of the winter time, so yeah, things can get a little bit cold, but yeah, it's just beautiful right here and just pleasant and part of the Venice Beach experience. Along the southern portion of the beach at the end of Washington Boulevard is the Venice Beach Pier, which is a 1,310-foot concrete structure which first opened in 1964. On the southern side of the Venice breakwater is an acclaimed local surf spot. Because of its location relative to the breakwater, the waves are usually ideal for surfing, but not so much for swimming. The reason is that the choppy waves and the regular sea current make swimming in this area extremely dangerous. Even though this part of the beach isn't good for swimming, because the beach is so wide and usually not so filled with people, it really is an ideal location to enjoy the sun and the sea air. What I love about Venice Beach is that no matter if it's hot or cold, well, there's always a lot of entertainment right here on the boardwalk, and today is no exception. Even though it's a little bit more windy as mentioned, there's still a lot of people right here that are getting a little bit of exercise. They're jogging, or they're skating, or they're skateboarding, or surfing, or doing whatever they need to do. But it is really, really pleasant right here to see all the performers and to just see all the beauty and the colors that the boardwalk has to offer. So yeah, you get a little bit of the calm of the canals, and then you walk a little bit and you get to hear a little bit of crazy music, crazy noise, crazy people all around, and to see a lot of beautiful colors. The Venice Beach Boardwalk Promenade stretches from the Santa Monica Boardwalk and terminates in Marina del Rey in the south. Whenever I walk in this area, I always like to stop by Muscle Beach, which is nowadays an open gym. Next to it are some basketball courts, which are renowned across the country for their high level of streetball, and also the fact that numerous professional basketball players developed their game or have been recruited on these courts. Since the 1950s and 1960s, Venice became a center for the Beat generation, and there was an explosion of poetry and art, which continues today. This is why we can still see many stalls selling artwork, but also numerous amounts of murals that are scattered throughout many walls of the buildings in and around the area. Trying to see all of them is pretty difficult because they are often hidden or in places that one would not expect to see artwork in. And if you want to grab something to eat, well, I would suggest not being in the touristic area of Venice Beach with the boardwalk, because they mostly have a lot of junk food with maybe pizzas and hot dogs and ice creams. So yeah, I guess if you want to just have a little snack and have something that's a little bit unhealthy, it's okay. But if you're looking for something that's a bit healthier, well, I would stay more towards the Venice Beach canals, and right adjacent to the Venice Beach Pier there's Washington Square, which has quite a few restaurants. They're middle class to upper class restaurants, so some of them are not too expensive, but yeah, if you want to spend a little bit more you can also. But yeah, there they have a little bit better choice, and they have quite a lot of food, and this is probably the most pleasant area if you actually want to sit down and have something to eat. But yeah, with this place, I think that this is probably the perfect place to actually end this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed coming on this visit of the Venice canals and some of the actual touristic area of Venice Beach. And if you did enjoy it, well, please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment too. Let me know what you thought about this area. Let me know what other videos I should make. I'm always open to suggestion. Well, with that being said, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.